So hello and welcome to this podcast, Vishal. It's been a really long time that we've connected.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Thank you so much for having me in this episode. And always been an admirer of your work, and we connected after a long time, so
Yeah,
it
true.
feels great.
So I've been seeing some of your stuff, and would you want to say something to our audience about what you do?
Oh yes, everything is on the Google. You can just put Vishal J Singh, music director or musician on Google. You'll get a lot of things about me. अभी क्या बोले खुद के बारे में शर्म आती है. But in brief, I can say that I'm a music composer, music director, producer, and I play a few instruments, and I have like two different experimental bands. And yeah, that's it. I've been in the music industry for the past 10 years, still struggling because that's how industry has always been like.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Um, Good. The topic I have chosen to discuss today is very interesting to both of us, I'm sure. As creative people, we love the freedom and the the various ways we want to express ourselves.
Hmm.
So the topic I have chosen is discipline, blessing or curse.
Hmm.
So I want to
Discipline.
start discipline, blessing or
Okay.
curse. So I want to start with a personal example. Um, in my in my writing throughout my career of 20-25 years, I have realized long back that having a discipline about how I allow these bursts of creativity to come when I want them to come, uh, to respond to my clients' needs, sometimes even to respond to what I want to do at that particular moment, instead of just
Hmm.
waiting for inspiration. So
Right.
working hard and working on the themes and reading a lot, watching a lot of movies, uh, being interested in life, all of it is has been a great thing. But like most people think, it is not really as exciting when you're sitting to work, because more or less you need to be able to get your faculties to work on time. So
True.
I've had like these days I've been working from home for last 8 to 10 years, I think, and early mornings are a good time for me, say 7 to 9 or something, when the world is not interested in me and I know what I want to do with a job, more or less. And
Hmm.
I just have my chai and I get to work. And I think that discipline works very well for me. Now, the reason
Right.
I ask whether it's a blessing or a curse, because the world does not function according to my needs. So
Exactly.
if I get too stuck to that timing and saying that is the time that works best for me, so sometimes very rarely, very late in the night also I have had to work. Um,
Right.
so at that point you can't say no. If ours is an industry moved by deadlines most of the time, I'm sure you're aware of that as well.
That's
Advertising
true.
and
That's true.
films both.
Yeah.
So my question to you, on the basis of my experience, how do you view discipline as a person and as an artist, both? Is it same? Is it different?
Uh, it took me some years to understand a lot of things that I come from a family where discipline was very important, and I've learned it from my father. Being there, like with so discipline is quite a big word, and the word discipline is attached with two things. One is called the perfectionist, and another one is called the controller. Now, to be able to make a situation more workable, more what do you call better is it always needs a teamwork. And from what I've learned while working with teams, whether it's a team of music composers, sound engineers, voiceover artists for advertising, jingles, film scores, band, whatever, is that if well, you're absolutely right, because if I keep the discipline on, the other members, one of them or two of them, may not be able to follow that discipline, and it's become very painful, and it sometimes leads to a mess between the project. So what I have always followed till date. I'm still learning. It's not that I haven't reached a perfection value at the moment. But from what I've learned is that uh, more than perfectionist, more than being following discipline, more than being someone who is looking at the entire thing, it's very important to take the role of a leader. If somebody is taking things very in a disciplined manner, there has to be one leader in the team. Like say, and the leader means he's basically involved in most of the thing. Like if you're the leader of any project and if you're strictly following a discipline, you don't have to tell others to follow that. They will follow you. You have to inspire people to follow discipline in a way that they will say, oh my God. So Vishal said that we have to finish the mix by tonight, 8 p.m. But at the same point, at the same time, I have to make sure that it's not going too rough on them because I have the habit of composing one jingle song in the next within 60 minutes or within 120 minutes because I've been composing music for jingles since quite a long time. So I have that natural speed control, the entire discipline and the entire leadership. But my assistant programmer may not be able to do that, but he will if because I'm leading him and I'm leading the other assistant producers, composers. Eventually, what happens? They want to follow how disciplined I am, but it's not easy for them because it wasn't easy for me when I started. So it's very important to understand if you're following a discipline, are you following this discipline only for yourself or are you following this discipline for your entire team? Because if there is a project, whether it's life, where the involvement of an aim or of a certain what do you call mission is 90 or 80% mostly you without having involvement of any more people, like not other people are not involved, you're mostly involved in this project or whatever it is, then the self-discipline is a blessing. It works amazingly because you know how to do it, and it is very important to keep discipline that way because this is completely the entire situation is under your control. You can control a lot of things, like say if I'm working on a script and if the director or somebody says who believes in your work said, okay, uh, Surinder, you take your time, write it down, and whenever you feel comfortable regarding sharing the script or story with us, just let us know. Which happens sometimes, which doesn't happen sometimes. If it happens, it's a blessing. But if they say you have to finish it within 2 days or 3 days, so your discipline, your entire things gets moved because somebody else is taking on another part, another role into it. So this is where the whole concept of discipline becomes a little kind of a curse between blessing and curse. I wouldn't say it's curse between curse because now the thing is, if you follow a definite rule and discipline of working in an environment, you must be very sure that the people with whom you're working also following more or less the similar discipline in their life and in their working project. So in my case, if I'm following, I have strict rules that I cannot work after 12 a.m. in the night. That's dead end. भूकंप भी आ जाता मैं काम नहीं करे. Then, fortunately, I've been working with some production houses who've been very kind. They understand that and they've been following these rules because they also apply the same thoughts to their employees. They say, okay, yeah, we're not going to work, so you can send me the draft by morning 11:30 or 12 a.m. and we're cool with that. Let's not work at late night. But then some of them like, Vishal, we have to share it by, 3 p.m., 3 a.m. पे presentation है, करना पड़ेगा, वो करना पड़ेगा, and all these things. Then I started like slowly and started telling them this is not going to work. Either I completely take over my hands from it, or you pay me an extra amount for that. I said, why? Because it's not just about work anymore. It's about my health as well. Discipline is also getting affected, which means I need more support for that. It's your call. I think what we need is sometimes we don't understand that our discipline is is our disciplined lifestyle becoming a curse because it's putting other people into a situation where they are not comfortable working with us? It's not like that. Basically, if we are disciplined, we have to find, we have to work with those people who are as disciplined as us. This is what I've learned till there in the industry, because this is one of the reasons why I've figured that I cannot work with many different clients. I still struggle a lot with work and financially ups and downs, because you know how fragile this industry is. But most importantly, it's very important to work with those production houses, those people who understands the discipline thing. And for that, it's very important before. That's why before I get into any kind of project work with any production house or any film production house, I rather like to meet these guys personally, talk to them, how the things work, how they function, and all those things. We discuss on a personal basis level, and we get to know each other a little bit over a phone call or something here and there. And then a lot of things gets clear after that. So discipline is a blessing when the involvement, the number of person involved in this particular mission is only us, like me or I. But it becomes a curse when we see others also getting involved and they are not being comfortable with it. So it's not a problem with us. It's problem we are connecting with wrong people. We're working with wrong people. And at some point of time, we feel like if we deal with this kind of people over and over again, we feel like it's not working. You know, my whole discipline thing is people think I'm like this and that. It's not working. Like let's be very realistic, because 1960s, 40s, 50s, whenever they were like Kishore Kumar, Jimi Hendrix, all these moody rock star guys, they say, I don't want to perform today, I'm not in the mood. So they have this kind of tantrum. Now the industry is so fragile, it's very hard to find a balance, a common level, a ground of creativity and discipline where you can work as a strong team. It's impossible to do that. The only way to figure this out is to work with only those people who follow certain disciplines and stuff. And then your discipline becomes more powerful, and it is possible. I think the most important thing is that if we follow discipline, we shouldn't be controlling. What happens, the curse part of discipline is that at some point of time, we started controlling things 100%. And then from that control mode, it moves towards the perfectionist side. Being perfectionist is okay, being a controller is also okay, but not always, because if we consider it in a bigger, you know, in a wide range, life itself is an improvisation, isn't it? We don't know what's going to happen today. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We plan a lot of things for tomorrow, day after tomorrow, and then this is a part of disciplined lifestyle. This is a part of everything. What if tomorrow something else happens? So if things doesn't go according to the plan, things doesn't go according to the control, things doesn't go according to my regular discipline for which I've been preparing for, we get badly disappointed. This is the absolute curse of being a disciplined person. I think we're living in a generation, we're living in a time that even while following discipline, we should start letting things go out of our hands. It's a good habit. Things we can't control, we should like open our hands, let it go, and says these opportunities will come again on the right time to us. So I'm going to follow my discipline, but with the mindset, if I have to change something tomorrow, I will do it. I'm not a controller, right? So this is where the controller slightly fades away, and the perfectionist would say, I want it to be perfect, but let's assume today is not the great day. So let it be just 20% perfect. That is also fine with me. So the perfectionist slowly fades away. The remaining guy is the discipline. The discipliner says, I will keep doing it until it reaches up to the level, to the dream which I've been thinking of, to the level where I've been dreaming since I was born. So this is my only understanding of how discipline works.